Are you tired of going to Target just for your shelves to look like this? Or your Walmart for your shelves to look like this? And you're looking to expand your collection? Well, today I'm going to be showing you 10 cards in the Scarlet and Violet era that are under $25. Welcome back, folks. I'm Victor, and today I put together a small list of cards that I think are pretty nice that are under $25, and this is by no means an investment video of cards that I think are going to blow up in value. These are just cards that I thought looked pretty cool, and they're relatively cheap, at least cheaper than like some sealed stuff. And you know, because at the time of April 2025 we can't find anything in stores, so you know, might as well satisfy that itch with buying a really nice card for some decent value, you know. Today we'll be using TCG Player for most of the pictures and prices, just because that's like the number one thing to use, you know. So without further ado, let's jump to card number 1. Hello, I'm all teeny tiny on the bottom left of the screen. The first card we're going to be looking at is everyone's favorite little piggy in Scarlet and Violet, Lechonk. This list, I forgot to mention, is in no particular order of like rarity or anything. I did set them in order from cheapest to most expensive, being under $25. But let's just dive in. So first we have Lechonk, and this is from Obsidian Flames. I think a lot of these Scarlet and Violet, a lot of these Scarlet and Violet sets, like the older ones, I feel like they're kind of underrated. They're a little bit slept on. Everyone's so focused on Prismatic, what's the other one? Surging Sparks, Journey Together. Journey Together though does have some fire shit. But I mean, look at this card. It's just so cute. Like it's adorable. Do I need to say more? He's in a food coma. That is so on brand for a little pig Pokemon. It is so cute. And I'm gonna say a lot of these cards, like the visual isn't gonna do it justice, because obviously there's no texture in this picture. It's just like a render. But here we go. We're coming in at like, what is this? $6, $5.19. That's not too bad, you know. That's like about a pack. So if you like Lechonk or you just think this card's nice, it's a worthy addition. Especially if you're looking to spend like $20, you can get a couple cards. Not a bad card. Definitely, most of these are like ones that I was already planning on picking up, so I just figured I'd share with you guys. Let's move on to the next Pokemon. This next one isn't a Pokemon that I'm like too crazy about. Mienshao. I never really use it. I kind of just like, it's kind of more of like an afterthought Pokemon for me. No offense to all you Mienshao fans. It is a very cool Pokemon. Especially this card. I think it's just so dope. I really love the like tranquility of like it like practicing like kung fu, or I don't know, some sort of meditation or something. It is very cool to see like the setting. I love Pokemon cards of Pokemon in nature, in like in the wild, in their natural habitat. I think that is just super dope, and this is such an awesome, like it's on brand. That's what's super cool about this one. Let's check out that price. This is from Paradox Rift. Personally, I love Paradox Rift. I think that's a set that gets a lot of dookie as well. I mean, at least from coming back to cards. That's kind of the vibe I've picked up on. But as you can see, this price is not too bad. Like, what is this? $8.43 for market price? That's not bad. It's gone down. It peaked about 11 and is now at like $8.34. Not a bad pickup, especially if you're a Mienshao fan, or you just love it because it's beautiful. I mean, it's nice. It definitely beats buying like, you know, some sealed stuff, that which is usually like $30-$40, and then you don't get anything. You get like an EX or a holo. Let's go to the next one. Now this card, I almost didn't include it, but then I saw a video on TikTok. If I find it, I'll put it up on the screen.
Bro, the time and detail they put into these cards. Look at this Chatot, like hidden in the message. And then they do it again on the power lines. Hold up. You know this. Yeah.
But this Chatot card in particular is pretty cool. There's a lot of like Easter eggs, I guess that's the right word. I don't know. But Temporal Forces is where we get this card from, but it's pretty cheap too. Look at that. $8.69. It's not bad. That's a really cool card. Plus, if you get it, you can, you know, kind of show it off and be like, oh, check this out. I think it's pretty cool. Chatot, I rock with it. I definitely gonna be picking this card up. Next Pokemon. Up next, we have one of the two box art legendaries of the new game. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I am not a big fan of Scarlet and Violet the game. And it took me a while to kind of like, you know, play the game and like kind of not judge it so harshly, but especially the legendaries. I always thought the use of the legendary as like your bike or whatever was kind of like, I don't know, I thought it was like kind of lame, kind of took away from that legendary status. But I mean, it still looked kind of cool. I think I like Miraidon more, but Koraidon at least, this card is pretty cool too. Like I said, I love seeing a Pokemon in nature, especially a legendary Pokemon. This is such a legendary setting, kind of gives like Mew vibes, you know, like forest, middle of nowhere. And like the way the forest is dark all around, except the sun that's piercing through the canopy of the forest onto Koraidon. I think that's a pretty cool card, you know. You don't even have to be a Koraidon enthusiast to, you know, recognize this is a cool card. This is actually from Scarlet and Violet base set, which is, I was looking at some of the base set stuff and it's actually kind of fire. Like there's a lot of cool cards in here that are pretty cheap. So if you aren't a fan of this one, it might be worth checking out the rest of the base set cards to see if maybe you like one. They're pretty cheap. I recommend it. Next Pokemon. This next Pokemon is I'm a little biased towards it, which is why it's on this list. Because I love water types. I think that's kind of what I lean towards more. And this card is just so adorable. Like everything about it. Mantyke is already such a cute Pokemon, but the setting of it is just 10 out of 10. You have this like researcher or whatever in some underground research, underwater research station or submarine kind of thing, you know, busy at work, and then looks out his window to see a Mantyke, and it's just so cute. I think this is such a beautiful card, so adorable, especially if you're into water types. It's a worthy pickup from Paradox Rift. I'm telling you, some of these older Scarlet and Violet sets have some real bangers in them. For 17 bucks, I'd pick that up. I'd make that deal. Would you make that deal? I'd make that deal. And despite the fact that I'm using TCG Player, and it might seem like it's a bit expensive, you're like, damn, 17 bucks, that's kind of a lot. I would also recommend checking out eBay, or I don't know what's another one, Mercari, probably one of those two. Sometimes on eBay you can find like cheaper stuff, you know, just because that's what the card is worth doesn't mean that's what it's gonna sell for. So if you really like this card, but the $17 is like, it's a little bit too much, you could always wait, see if it goes down, or find a good deal on eBay, make an offer. Sometimes people, if you shoot them an offer, they're like, fuck it, I'll take it. You know, it's worth it. Worth to check it out. But I love this card so much, and I will be adding this to my collection. Let's go to the next Pokemon. On to number 6, we have this really, really cool Arbok Pokemon card. I feel like Arbok is kind of a Pokemon that doesn't get too much of a spotlight despite it being a Kanto Pokemon. And I feel like this card really does it justice because I feel like it's kind of rare to see Pokemon in the setting of like, you know, like the food chain of like predator versus prey. And this card is super cool because you can totally tell that this Arbok is like, it's ready to pounce on this. I don't know, Toucan Sam. It's ready to attack. And like the brightness of the canopy, the full moon in the back, it's such a cool card. It's so dope. I definitely will be picking this card up. We get this banger from Temporal Forces. Temporal Forces, and it's coming in at about $15. At the time of this recording, I had them set from, you know, cheapest to most expensive, but prices change. So, I mean, it looks like it says 18. Let's see the most recent, 15. They kind of jump around. So apologies if it isn't fully in, you know, cheapest to highest. But like I said, you can also check eBay if it's cheaper. But this is definitely a card I would, you know, pick up for sure. This is so dope. And I can only imagine what it looks like with the textures and the shine, because it doesn't get the full, you know, Pokemon card treatment because it's more like a render. But so dope. So dope. I love seeing Pokemon that are in that like style of predator prey, because I feel like we're so used to seeing Pokemon in the games, in the anime, to like feed off like berries, poffins, kibble, and this adds that like almost real world element of like predator versus prey, and it's pretty dope. Anyways, next Pokemon. Up next, we have one of the best dog Pokemon for all my dog lovers, just like me. This guy is so adorable. Hisuian Growlithe, a staple of the Legends Arceus game. And it's such a cute card. I mean, look at this guy. He's so adorable. Look at him. If you thought Growlithe was already a cute Pokemon, Hisuian Growlithe, man. Hisuian Growlithe. Don't sleep on this card. It is such a cutie. And like I said, the shine, the textures, it's just gonna make the card even more beautiful. And it's not that bad too. Look at that. 18, 20 bucks. I think the last one that sold was $18. Not too bad if you like a Growlithe or dog Pokemon, you want to collect dog Pokemon. This is one you definitely need. Let's see, what do we get this one? Twilight Masquerade. Twilight Masquerade. Some of these older Scarlet and Violet sets, they got some bangers in them. You know, and not every card needs to be the $400 bajillion card. You can enjoy cards like this. These are beautiful. These are so slept on. In my opinion, obviously. Next Pokemon. Weirdly enough, I also did not like Armarouge and Ceruledge or Ceruledge, I don't know how you call them. I kind of didn't really like them at first. I was also kind of like I'm kind of tired of these bipedal Pokemon looking too human. But I mean, I can't judge. My favorite Pokemon, Lucario. So I can't be hating on bipedal Pokemon. Except for you, fucking Duck, Scarlet and Violet Duck. I hate you. I hate it. It's disgusting. Get out of my face. Anyways, this card honestly surprises me of how cheap it is. It surprises me how cheap it is because it looks so freaking cool. Look at that. Look at that. This dude is just aura farming in the middle of like a abandoned mansion or something. I don't know. It is so dope. This card alone kind of like, you know, made it grow on me, made me like it. And I mean, look at it. You can't blame me. Like this, I am no longer a Ceruledge hater. Armarouge, a little bit, but this dude, certified badass. Oh yeah, Surging Sparks. That is one of the sets that is super scalped, super hard to find, but the card is pretty affordable. At least I would say it's affordable. Coming in at under 25 bucks. That's cheaper than most of the fucking sealed stuff you're gonna find. So if you really want it, I would say just buy the card instead of wasting so much money on sealed product. But if you want to know more about buying packs or sealed stuff or single stuff, check out my other video. Enough yapping. Next Pokemon. Up next, we have another dog Pokemon, Ninetales. And this card is just, wow. I remember when I pulled this, I was like, whoa, like that is such a, like, wow. It's cool to see how much Pokemon cards have evolved over time. You know, from just like holos and stuff to stuff like this. Like this is beautiful. Like it's so majestic, so like mythical, so I don't know. It's awesome. And trust me, the textures and shine make it that much more beautiful. Like I feel like these photos don't do it the justice that it deserves. You can get this banger from Obsidian Flames, coming in at like about 20-ish bucks. It looks like it's gone down. It peaked at like $34, and the last one sold was about, what is that, like $20? That's not too bad. That's not too bad if you're in the market of getting some new cards to expand your collection. Trust me, this looks really cool in my binder. Definitely recommend it. And it's Ninetales. Who doesn't love a good old Gen 1 Pokemon? For the last Pokemon, we have the second box art legendary of Scarlet and Violet, Miraidon. I think this one is definitely my favorite of the two. It looks cooler, it makes more sense for the fucking bike gimmick. Still not a fan of that like legendary bike thing. It's just too goofy in my opinion, but it is very cool, especially this card. I love the like lo-fi kind of vibe that it emits. Like, it's so cool seeing like more than one Pokemon on a card. It just adds more life to it, even though it's not like in a cool action pose, or I don't know, this is still very nice. Like, it's so, there's something about this card that I really like, and it's just so dope. I think this is another base set card, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Scarlet and Violet base set, coming in at about like $22, $21. I think it's a worthy pickup. It's just super cool. I feel like seeing some of these Pokemon and cool cards like this almost like redeems them for me, just because I was not a huge fan of them. And you can like them if you want. I'm not gonna hate you. I'm not gonna fight you on it. It is a cool Pokemon, you know. I can admit that, but I don't know. For me, it just took a while, I guess. It took a while for me to be like, yeah, it's not that bad. And seeing Pokemon like this in the cards, I feel like it really does something for me. So, hey, it might do something for you too. Might even add you to the not hater side of this Pokemon. Now, I know I said the list was 10, but I added one more because I really love Lucario and Riolu, and I just thought I would add this in as an honorable mention, just because, you know, if it's like $27, $25 on TCG Player, there's a good chance you can find it for cheaper on eBay or whatever. Make the seller an offer. I mean, it's just such a cute card, and I don't think we get Riolu or Lucario in a, you know, like illustration card like this, and it's just so adorable to see him being like kind of like guilty, you know, like when you catch your dog doing something it shouldn't, and it just gives you this look. I just thought it's so adorable, and I will be buying this card for sure. As a Lucario fan, it has to be in my binder, and it's another base set. I'm telling you, maybe it's worth looking at some of these older Scarlet and Violet stuff and picking up a few cards before, I don't know, it gets discontinued and the price goes up. I don't know. Definitely worth picking up, in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed my list of 10, 11 actually, Pokemon cards in the Scarlet Violet era that are under $25 as of right now. Before we end this video, I do want to mention, you know, that not everything has to be about expensive cards and centering and grading, you know. I feel like we've kind of lost sense of that, of like just appreciating cool Pokemon card art. You know, like sometimes you'll see somebody pull a really dope chase card and they immediately get heartbroken because the centering is off or whatever stupid reason. And it's like, are you really having fun if everything you want is just like, oh, it has to be a PSA 10? And I'm not hating, you know, if that's what makes this hobby fun for you, by all means, but, you know, don't push that on other people. Some people just love collecting cool cards, no matter the quality, no matter, you know, the condition, you know. I feel like we've kind of lost so much, I don't know what to say, I don't know the word. We've just like lost kind of our way to just being, you know, always about money, always about the value. Like, I feel like people don't appreciate cards that much for them just being nice cards. So, you know, I just wanted to say, have fun with the hobby, you know. Like I said, not everything has to be about money or how expensive your cards are, you know, because I feel like that's kind of discouraging, you know, but to each their own, obviously. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing, leaving a like. It means a lot, and it lets me know that, you know, to make more of these kind of videos. There's a lot more cards that I saw. It was really hard to narrow down 10 to 11 cards, but maybe I'll make more. Anyways, I hope you liked it, and in conclusion, buy cards that you want, open product for fun, box scalpers, don't pay anything over MSRP, and remember to enjoy yourself. Have fun with the hobby. Remember to have fun at the end of the day. Alright, that's it. Peace.